Hello class, today we're going to be doing topic 5-3 over formulas. We'll be using some geometry formulas, but we're not going over geometry, we're actually going over algebra, and we're just using geometry to provide the formulas. Trying to make this go back into real world instead of just pure numbers. So, we're not going to be using the exit level math chart, we're going to be using the star geometry reference materials from a few years ago, back when they had a geometry star test, to help us answer these. Now, we're still going to use mathematics chart, but we're going to find the different formulas for each of these. Now, number one says we need the lateral surface area of a cylinder. So we get our mathematics chart, and we come down here where it says surface area, and we want cylinder, the lateral. So we're looking for this equation right here, S equals 2 pi RH. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. S equals 2 pi RH. Now we start with that, and they say that the radius is 6. So R equals 6. The height is 13. H equals 13. And we want to leave our answer in terms of pi. That means pi is going to stay as a variable through all of this. So now I'll rewrite my equation, but this time I'm going to use 6 and 13. So S equals 2 pi times 6 times 13. Going to go ahead and use the calculator. 2 times 6 times 13. We get that S equals 2, 6, and 13 make 156 pi. Now, since we're living in terms of pi, we're done. We don't need to use 3.14 for pi. We're just leaving pi there. Now, moving on to question number 2. We're talking find the radius of a cylinder, lateral surface area. We're going to be using the same formula that we used earlier. S equals 2 pi RH. This time we're trying to find the radius, so we don't know what the radius is. It says the surface area is 72 pi. So S equals 72 pi, and the height is 4. So H equals 4. Now we simply plug things in. So we have 72 pi equals 2 pi R times 4. Now, again, because this is all multiplication, I can just go ahead and multiply my two constant numbers. 2 times 4 gives me 8. So, I have that 72 pi equals 8 pi R. Now, this R is what I'm trying to get alone. So I need to get rid of the 8 pi. I'm going to do that simply by dividing by 8 pi. Now, pi divided by pi cancels out, and so I just need to figure out what 72 divided by 8 is. And if you don't know, you can always plug that in the calculator, but I do happen to know that 72 divided by 8 equals 9. And so I'm left with that the radius must be 9. Moving on to number 3. This time we're trying to find the height of a triangle. They give the length of the base and the area. Well, I look at my formula chart, and it tells me that area of a triangle is 1/2 BH. So I write A equals 1/2 BH. It says find the height. So we don't know what our height is. It says the length of the base, that would be B for base, is 12. And area, that would be A, is 48. Plug the numbers in. 48 equals 1/2 times 12 H. Simplify 1/2 times 12 is 6. So 48 equals 6H. Divide both sides by 6. And we get H equals 8. So, those are the first 3 problems, the first page of your notes. Let's go ahead and have a look at these next 2 problems. Number 4, same thing we've been doing, but this time we've got a little bit more complicated. We're looking for the area of a trapezoid. The height is 4, and the 2 bases are 11 and 5. So we pull up our chart. We've got area of a trapezoid. We follow that along. It's 1/2 parentheses B1 plus B2, close the parentheses, H. So we get that area equals 1/2, open parentheses, B1 plus B2, close the parentheses, H. We know that H equals 4. It doesn't matter which is B1 and which is B2. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the same order that I find them. And we're trying to find the area. We plug in. Area equals 1/2 11 plus 5 times 4. Well, 11 plus 5 gives us 16. Area equals 1/2 times 16 times 4, which we can just put in the calculator. 1/2 times 16 times 4, and we get 32. So the area equals 32. So some of these problems, you're going to be given all the parts of the formula like we are here, and you're trying to find the variable. Those are easy. I really could have just put this into the calculator and gotten my answer from there. Other times, like in problem number 2 and 3, we're given the final value, and we're missing a value on the inside, in which case you use your rules of algebra to solve the problem. Now, we have one more thing, and that is problems like number 5, where we have a net. Again, this says mathematics chart. Some mathematics charts have rulers. The one I'm using does not on either side, so I'm just going to go ahead and use a regular ruler. It says use a ruler to the nearest 1/4 inch. So I take this and I measure, and that looks like 1.5. And just to make sure that it is in actuality a cube, that is also 1.5. And in fact, I could measure every individual side and I will get that they are 1.5. We want to find the surface area. Well, hopefully, remember from junior high, the area of a square is just length times width. So if I do 1.5 times 1.5, I get 2.25. Now that is just the inside of each individual square. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So 2.25 times 6 gives us 13.5 when I put that into the calculator. And that's as simple as it gets. You measure and then you find the area of every piece, add all the pieces together, and you get your final answer. Hope you have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow in class where we will be working on the assignment portion for 5-3.